Hi there, and thanks for stopping by my channel. A square pillow isn't square, the place where you will learn anything and everything you wanted to know about home deck sewing. A lot of times I see people do videos where they have an overlap zipper on the back of a pillow, but it's visible. It's maybe a third of the way from the bottom or even halfway in the middle. I don't see any reason why you should be able to see any kind of zipper. Most of my videos are about invisible zippers, but this is the way that I make an overlap zipper where it's pretty much also going to be invisible unless you're looking for it. Now, the reason that I'm doing an overlap zipper on this pillow is very simple. As you can see, once this brush fringe is released from its basting, these little strings go in every which direction. If you try to put a zipper in this seam, it is literally impossible to open and close it without these threads getting caught in the zipper teeth. So by putting a zipper near the very, very bottom of the pillow, you are far enough away where you can easily, where's my tab? You can easily open and close this pillow and you never get your fringe caught in it. But at the same time, when your pillow's finished and sitting or standing up, you're never going to see it. Alright, as always, the first thing you're going to do is start by measuring your pillow insert for your cover. I did one of my early videos is about how to measure for a pillow cover in order to get a nice snug fit. I'll link to that here. And in my case, this is measuring at about 44 inches around. So my cover is going to finish at 22 inches for this cover. If I add ½ an inch all around for my seam allowances, my front and back are going to be cut at 23 inches. So I'll start by cutting out my front and back 23 inches. The other piece that you're going to need to cut out is a piece of fabric 4 inches wide and the same width as your pillow. And this is going to be the bottom flap for our zipper. Once you've cut out those two pieces, if you want to, you can serge or finish this raw edge. Not necessary, but if you've got a ravelly fabric, you could. And then the next thing you're going to do is fold your strip in half, like this. And we're going to turn over on this side 1 inch. So now what you'll have is your pillow back with 1 inch turned under and your 4 inch strip folded in half. And you're going to have the folded side facing up. The next step is to either cut a piece of zipper tape or get a zipper a couple of inches shorter than your pillow. I like to come in about 1 inch on each side so that this zipper doesn't get caught in my seam allowance. It can add a little bit of bulk. So I'll usually cut my zipper strip a couple of inches shorter. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a pin about 1 inch in. So I know where I'm going to sew my zipper. And I'm going to take this to the machine and I'm just going to sew this piece onto the bottom of my zipper. Okay, now you should have something like this, where one side of your zipper is sewn onto your flap on the fold side, And here's the back of your pillow. Turn everything over so the wrong sides are facing up. And now all we're going to do is just kind of bring this straight up to the top. And we're going to be just sewing the zipper strip onto this flap. Just start pinning your strip on like that. So it's lined up on the edges and it's lined up on the top. You can put one in the middle if you want to. And now when you open this up, you're going to be able to just go to the machine and stitch on the back side right along here. So let's go do that next. When you get to where your zipper tab is, as you can see, it can be a little tricky, but just raise your presser foot, raise your needle, work that zipper tab back out of the way, and finish sewing your line. All right, now you just unzip the zipper, making sure not to slide all the way off your zipper tape. You want to leave a little bit to keep your zipper connected. And take the large piece of pillow back. You've already got your fold in place, and just like you're seeing on this video right here, the wrong side of the pillow is up, and I just run my foot along the zipper teeth and zip along through all layers of the back, and that's what's going to help secure your zipper flap in place. Just like before, when you get to where your zipper pull is, it's a little easier on this side because you're farther away, but just make sure you get your zipper pull out of the way and finish sewing to the end. Okay, the last little step is we are going to sew over the ends of your zipper tape. I usually go in about 1/2 inch, and I'm going to sew straight up and down along this zipper flap. This just acts as a stop for your zipper, as well as securing the two back pieces together. So you'll go back and forth over your zipper teeth several times, being careful. You might have to walk your needle. Be careful that you don't break your needle. And then stitch very close to this fold on the flap, stitching it down to the pillow back. And you're just going to do the same thing on the other side. The opened end's just a little bit trickier, so you just want to make sure your teeth are pushed right against each other. Sometimes I'll use a pin to kind of hold everything in place. Then I'm going to double check where to sew, make sure that I go back and forth several times, about 1/2 inch in from the end of the tape. Same thing as before. Just go back and forth several times to help secure that end. Be careful not to break your needle. And stitch close to the fold. All right, here we have our zipper back with our zipper installed. And push my tab down here. With a nice flat zipper flap. And the very last thing that I do is I'm going to double check that this finished at the correct length. So the particular cover that I'm making now has to finish at 23 inches. And the way that I figure this, when I figure this flap, I do allow a little bit extra because just the thickness of the fabric, the thickness of your teeth, there's just things that can affect how much take up this process all has. So I'm just going to trim off any excess so that I get the correct finished length of my pillow, which is, in my case, 23 inches. And I'm going to trim that off nice and even. Again, if you want to, you can serge and finish all these raw edges if you want. But now my pillow front and back should be, my pillow front's a little different than my back. This is my front. But they should end up being the exact same size. See that? Perfect. Now if you're not going to put any trim in the seam, this thing is ready to go. You want to make sure that you open your zipper a little bit so that you can turn it right side out when you're finished. Sew around all 4 edges. Make sure you taper your corners like I show in my video about how to avoid pointy corners. And what you'll find is that this zipper flap is going to be so close to your bottom edge of your pillow, your 1/2 inch seam allowance, that you won't even be able to see it. You can just do a plain pillow. You can put any kind of trim in your seams and still use this type of zipper. That is all there is to it. Super easy.